So
Nice.
if you kindly say what you're doing and who you are, um, uh,
Okay.
and then we can go further with the questions.
All right, cool. Well, I'm
Cool.
Maki. That's my name. I make things. I make all kinds of things, mostly programming. Doing high level and low level programming, also making art and such, 3D models, and VR things. Always VR things.
Hmm.
But yeah, I
and
do lots of
I'm
things on my own.
Caitlyn. Maki, you're amazing. I'm Caitlyn Meeks. I'm a VR technologist and artist and designer. Um, and Maki and I often work together on things. I come the Unity from Unity Technologies and High Fidelity, and now I just work on my own wonderful stuff here with Maki.
What did you do actually in
Uh,
High Fidelity?
I was more in the design and
Okay.
products side of things with High Fidelity. So I do some scripting, but I did not work on the core engine
Hmm.
code itself or anything like that. So yeah, so that's sort of where I came from. And
Maybe you can
mhm.
give a very short timeline. So how long is this ago? So how long does High Fidelity exist? And
Well,
yeah.
we started in 2013.
Oh wow.
And it was a lot different back then. It was a voxel-based platform, and has evolved many times over. And there's been a lot of
Hmm.
iterations, and it really started to take the shape it has today over the last year or so. So in many ways, it was kind of an R&D company and trying to figure out what the product would be.
Hmm.
Um, and it's starting to take shape now. You know, we now know what high fidelity is and what it needs to be and where it's headed. So so yeah, the future's looking good for the platform. High Fidelity is an open source platform, which makes it really special compared to, I don't know, I've worked with software companies where it was strictly commercial, and that was nowhere as exciting or engaging. So I think one of the things that really makes the platform cool and really appealing is the fact that it's open source under the
Definitely.
Apache 2 license, and I think promises it a good lifespan, like a good outlook. Like no matter what the company High Fidelity does, you know,
I mean,
the
code
fact
is
that it's
now
free,
public, right? So someone can hijack it
it's all on
and
GitHub.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah. And
and
it's not
also
even hijack, it's just legitimately fork.
yeah.
Sorry, Maki.
Sorry, yeah.
it's also nice because by design as well, it's quite different than other platforms. I mean, let's say something crazy happens and the company isn't a thing anymore. Me and Caitlyn and everyone else, the whole community, we can still keep using the program because all these servers are all hosted in different places and
Mhm.
we're just connecting to them. High Fidelity, the company, doesn't, they offer server hosting, but someone like us too, we do it ourselves and many people do it themselves too. Yeah, it's sustainable and considering as well with it being open source, they have such a large API for being able to manipulate everything kind of. I mean, you can move the entities all by scripting. You could build a video game in here and have it work. And because of that, there's so many little hacks and tricks you can do and make almost anything possible. It feels like a dreamland sometimes to me, considering I'm like, I want to make this, and then I just make it, and it's like, wow, I just made it.
Okay.
It's really
It's pretty
crazy.
amazing.
Yeah.
And it's still in beta, right? And
Hmm.
what do you think is the next goals we want to achieve here, or what you want to see if when it goes into basically stable mode?
Well, a lot of things. Stability.
Okay, yeah.
That definitely needs to be worked on. There can be crashes sometimes, and with the current update, there's a few bugs with entities and tablets. This will be fixed eventually. There's a lot of things they're always adding and figuring out and solving problems. And every time they add stuff, they break things, and then they fix them, and they add stuff, and they break. It's this current cycle of it. But till high fidelity, let's say it's fully featured. Let's say it has all the features that it needs to be good enough for creators and scripters like I. And then eventually the stability can be fully worked on and fully stabilized. Then it seems like it could go in release. And then people have the things they need and the stability they need for everything to keep working. Yeah.
So what do you
So,
think
pictures.
will the user basically what are they expecting from stuff like High Fidelity or the VR? Do you think I mean, of course, it will grow in number of users, right? I mean, we are still at the beginning of VR with the headsets and stuff like that, and I think it will be a lot cheaper in the future.
Yeah.
So, do you think that there will be some other expectations to High Fidelity in the future?
Yeah, you're asking about the expectations people will have of High Fidelity in the future.
Yeah, or what you think?
Certainly the ambitions behind the project are very large, and they are definitely like world transforming level ambitions. I mean, we want there to be millions of people eventually engaged in social VR together, in a distributed sense, and working together on a multitude of distributed servers around the world. We want people to study and work and learn and play in VR, and we want there to be, you know, noticeable changes and improvements to society. We want there to be decrease in air travel and pollution, and you know, because people can come together without actually having to get inside a giant aluminum tube and pollute the air. You know, and go in airports, and you think about all the extra misery that kind of stuff adds. You know, so that's certainly a big part of it. The project is driven by these lofty goals. We want to allow people to become a lot closer with real kind of human interaction. I mean, Maki and I have formed a very close friendship, and probably more close than we could have in just you know, on Skype or something, because we're able to sort of feel each other's presence. And I think it never met in person.
It's much different than anything I've experienced.
But it's as if we are in each other's presence when we're in VR, and I think this is going to bring people together very well, you know, around this world. And you catch subtleties like human body language, you know, or emotion. Like you can actually read how someone's feeling just by seeing how they move their head or their hands when they're talking. It's remarkable. So our objective is to really change the world and improve humanity. And it sounds kind of pretentious, but that's the main objective behind this goal. We have short-term objectives, which is, you know, get more people using it, you know, make the platform more stable, technical objectives. But ultimately, this is a project driven by a grand objective, which is noble and is what drew me to the project. But it's also a lot of fun if you're a hacker like Maki here. You know, if you're a programmer or you want to try out a new frontier. On something that's just completely new and wild and written from the ground up to do this. I mean, I like to tell people that High Fidelity is a metaverse engine. You know, people talk about using Unity or Unreal game engines to create VR, and you can create social VR experiences with game engines, but you can't create a true metaverse with one. And that's specifically what High Fidelity's job is it is this. And being that it's open source and everything, we expect people to iterate and create, you know, new versions and forks that and add extra functionality that's going to make it even better for that specific need. So I feel very optimistic about the platform itself.
Okay.
I think also as I think it's interesting too for all kinds of creators. I mean, Caitlyn does 3D modeling. I do scripting. She does a bit of music making. Me too. She does textures. I mean, there's all kinds of people here. And in High Fidelity, you could start a world and host it yourself. It's all yours. It's all yours to keep. You can build it up, and you can build your own little fantasy world or anything really. You can build your own experience, and if you wanted to, you can have all these people come into your world and explore and really see, what you have to offer in your place. And that's one thing. And then you also have the communal idea of she's a 3D modeler, I'm a scripter. She can 3D model something, I can script it, and now we have something we've made. And even for building with other people, it's crazy, especially 3D modeling. I mean, there's something special about creating a 3D model. If it's a building, if it's an object, anything, and you see it in 3D, it feels special. The moment you put it into VR, it's even more special because you really feel like you're standing in front of your own creation that you made. It's almost like making stuff out of thin air. And then on top of that,
Yeah.
you also can invite your friends and be like, hey, check this out. I made this. And it's like playing with magic in real life. It's like, "Phew, I'm gonna make this, and then come over, have a look." And considering anyone can have a look, it's not like the people living near you. Anyone can take a look and see your kind of ideas and creations. And it feels like home for me. This is my home, High Fidelity. My domains, I have
Yeah.
different domains for different purposes, and every time I come on High Fidelity, wherever I am in the world, if I'm on holiday or at home, or anywhere. It's lovely to always come back here and see everyone and see my worlds all be there and see everything. Yeah, and hang out with my friends,
How
especially in VR.
how important is uh let's let's call it that way, a good, or I don't know, a normal real life compared to this? Because do you think, I mean,
Mm.
sure, people will there will be people who will be here 10 hours a day or so, but
Mhm.
what do you think is the best thing, or the best way to combine it, to get this, I mean, two worlds together, right?
Yeah, it is crazy, in that sense. So someone like me, I'm insane. I do go outside sometimes, but I spend most of my time inside. But for a regular person, at least from what I've seen, let's say they have things to do in real life. Let's say they have a job, and they can do their thing. Maybe it's nice. I think there's been people who have their jobs, and when they have time off, just a bit of time, they might jump onto High Fidelity and quickly say hello to everyone and hang out for a while.
Hmm.
So it's like having friends on the internet and being able to be in a virtual space with them, and just kind of like whenever I want to talk to my friends, I can come here. So, maybe after work, um, or maybe not after work if I'm doing something. Just whenever you feel like it, really,
So
you can
basically
come.
you're saying it's like the original idea of Facebook, where you have your people, your friendship, your
Yeah,
friend base, and I can meet them in a totally immersive
yeah,
kind of
exactly.
way, right?
Hmm.
It's like that. I mean, I don't use Facebook, I don't use Skype, I don't use those things anymore. I've just kind of left them all for High Fidelity because there's something attractive about being in a world with someone, and well, it just feels real. That's why it's lovely, and I can have good conversations with people because I'm in front of them, I have my hands. Yeah, it's lovely. It's like Facebook, really, but
Yes.
more personal.
Totally,
Hmm.
totally. Because I mean,
Yeah.
just to create an avatar like this, I mean, of course, it's
Hmm.
totally different. I mean, like
Yeah.
nobody would look like this, right? I mean, maybe in Japan,
True.
right? But um,
Well, it's stylized, but you get used to it.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
definitely.
this is Caitlyn.
Yeah,
That is Caitlyn, and in real life she looks different, but it's like you get attached. You get your brain says, "Hey, that
definitely.
is that person," and you get used to it very quickly.
Thank you for
Okay.
watching, and maybe you will meet these lovely people again in High Fidelity,